Greetings, my friends. It's Andrea here, and I want to wish you Happy New Year 2024 and to welcome you to the monthly forecast for January 2024 in markets in general. And I will also tell a bit about crypto, because I know this is of interest for the audience of this channel. So let's go into details. I would like to share my screen, not to forget anything. And I wish you a lot of focus for this to absorb the information, because I think it is not so big, but it is quite powerful and deep. It will be an interesting month in any case. So let's go into it. On January 11th, we do have the first new moon of the year, which happens in the sign of Capricorn. And each year at this time, we do have Capricorn highlighted. And this year is also special because we have Mars in Capricorn, and this is very relevant to the price action. I will go into details soon about Mars, and the moon phases will be detailed in the weekly videos, so stay tuned for those. And Capricorn is about hierarchy, it's about government, it's about organized structures that favor tradition and the old way of doing things. And it's quite highlighted by the Sun, Mercury, and we have also Mars here. So we will get a lot of resistance in a way to changes. This is the way I would interpret it, but this is also not something that we didn't see in the last year, for example, and the last month. So I think it's a culmination of this trend, because with Pluto really departing from Capricorn, which will happen for forever, not really forever, for the next 20 years from November 2024, we will get a shift of this energy. Therefore, I'm saying at willpower, at Mars level, it will be the last time that Mars will be in Capricorn, and Pluto as well in the same year. Therefore, we might see an end of an era. I know I talked about that also in my Pluto in Aquarius video. So if you didn't see it, please have a look at it. I will link it here. And I will also do another one, an update that is, more tailored, because Pluto will stay in Aquarius for 20 years. So what can we expect in each year, because only a few degrees are traversed, so we can get even more insights about this. And then the full moon in Leo will happen at the end of the month on the 25th of January. This is also, again, regarding government, people in power, law, regulation. So we might have some interesting news at the end of the month, rather. I know that, we would look more for January 10th, but it's a bit controversial, let's say. I think some delays are in store. We will see. All outer planets, excepting Uranus, are now direct. So this means that the price action, so the whole evolution in the markets, will happen more smoothly, more speedy. And this will happen especially on January the 2nd, when Mercury goes direct. And Mercury is the sign of, is the planet which governs trading, markets, e-commerce. So all these activities will be intensified, including traveling, especially short-term travel or short-distance travel, high speed. Yes, we can really travel and make the best out of the reduced prices after the season. So this would be favored, so that such trips would be favored. On January 4th, Mars enters the tropical sign of Capricorn. Like I told you, it's the exalted position. It's the maximum power. And this means that the steam in the market would increase. I always associate Mars like the engine of the price action, and this will be intensified. So higher magnitude up and down can be really expected, and I feel that we saw it already from the last part of December, this price movement in terms of magnitude. So it's not necessarily to the bull market cycle that we all expect to come in full power, but it's also regarding disposition of Mars. So it's a combination of influences that really drive this price evolution. Mercury was retrograde, as you know, from 13th of December until the end of the year. And again, it's this Capricorn. Matters of Capricorn are highlighted, and things are put now into motion based on the last revisions of Mercury retrograde. So analyzing some things that are regarding law, regarding regulation, regarding structures and organized ways to do things that are more traditional in nature, Capricorn. But now with Mercury also in Capricorn, with the Sun in Capricorn, and also Mars, now we will have a stellium of 3 planets triggering this astrological sign, which will show that we will have some, resistance in, expanding, I would say now. So it will be a bit of a slowdown. Yes, all planets direct. When Uranus will turn direct, he's the single one retrograde, then things will get even more speed. Now, we have January 10th, sort of, as an important date, especially about regulation of ETFs. What can I say? It's like, I don't know if it will happen then. So in general, there is optimism, but it could be that something will be delayed because we do have also this delay, in entering actually Capricorn, like January 14th for Mercury, because Mercury retrograded from Capricorn degrees to Sagittarius degrees in the tropical zodiac. And then we have, Mercury entering again, so mid-month rather, and Venus as well. So I even forgot that. So it's like January 23rd, Venus will enter Capricorn as well. So, and this Venus is very important because it's linked directly to currencies and cryptocurrencies. Around the end of January, news on regulation linked to crypto are most likely to be published and propagated in conclusion. At least this is the way I see it. Could happen also earlier, but we have some negative influences expect on the 7th for Bitcoin. And this is something that is a longer term aspect. Therefore, I'm a bit cautious to say that it will be quite, on the spot and it will happen easily. We know that several tries have been performed before, but we are not so sure that it will be easy. Now, around the end of January, we will have also Uranus turning direct. Uranus will become stationary before, and it will be felt strongly at least 1 week before and 1 week after. Why? Because it's still a slow-moving planet, and Uranus, which is anyway sudden and erratic, when it's stationary direct or stationary retrograde, in any case, it will be super powerful in the sky. And it will be very difficult to predict something. I want to warn you about that. And combined with the full moon in Leo on the 25th of January, I would expect a very eventful end of the month. and it will be interesting to see. Of course, I will provide forecasts for each week to dive into detail. But clear is that we will have a lot of opportunities, especially if Uranus makes aspects with the natal chart of the financial assets. And since it's Uranus, it's more longer term, so it doesn't need to be in January or on the 27th of January. That would be what I want to share with you, and I would like to talk also even more about crypto. So we do have on the 3rd of January the birthday of Bitcoin, and this is a favorable day for Bitcoin. It's quite in terms of long-term influences, of course, so don't expect, rocket ship necessarily. So it will have also some negative influence at hourly level. But in general, it's important because it's the solar return, which is exact actually on the 4th, the UTC time zone. But on the 4th, it has also positive influences. So 3rd and 4th are important days. Also 5th, because sometimes it's with lag. So these 3 days, I would say, are very important for crypto. It will shape the year. And having these aspects from Jupiter and Uranus, which are the most powerful catalysts for growth, it's a good sign. Now, on the 7th, as I told you, it's a negative aspect that repeats itself. It's a Pluto-Jupiter. And we do have also some negative influences astrologically at market level. So we need to be aware of that. So I do think that these being so close together and all of them long term, they can manifest together or like lessening the magnitude, but it will be still up, in my opinion, or it could, I think a drop is still unavoidable, to be honest, but we will see how this really manifests in action, so to speak. So it's very indicative of an eventful year. And we do have a very strong negative influence, but we have a mid and a, let's say, low intensity positive influence with other two from Jupiter and Uranus. And usually when Jupiter and Uranus would influence positively an asset, but Pluto would be against it, even with a hard aspect, like very strong and super red, as we depict it. Usually it's the case that the growth would be diminished. So, for example, think Tesla in 2023. So the price action was still, we still had, some nice peaks, but we got it on the moon, say Pluto influence on the moon, that really diminished the potential for growth. So we will see exactly how it manifests when you see a combination of the green and red aspects. It's important, to see the big ones and the smaller ones. Then you would pinpoint, the peaks where they combine, where it is as much green as possible, also large font and small font. This was a bit of, instruction for the financial calendar that you can find on Patreon. And this is the last month that we do have this offer valid with this possibility to book Patreon now, either silver or gold tier, and to really get, after 4 months of membership, for silver you get the Bitcoin forecast for the whole year, and for gold tier you will get both Bitcoin and Ethereum for 2024, covering also all the events. It's an eventful year again, so it's about interesting eclipses. April will also be very strong, and it looks quite promising in terms of action and of speed. Stay tuned for more videos, like for the major planets changing signs. I will give more Details on Pluto, as mentioned, the long 20-year transit, and also for Jupiter, because we'll have an eventful second part of the year with Jupiter entering the tropical sign of Gemini, which is the sign of the markets. Thank you for your attention, for liking and subscribing, and until next time, be joyful. Happy New Year.